yes, I'm excited to talk about the COVID-19 phase 3 vaccine trials. That's the topic of discussion today. Hey, Drew, how are you? All right, it's just now, okay, 3:01. We're going to wait one more minute or so, maybe 30 seconds. Thank you, everyone, for joining today. So I'll just get started with a brief personal update. Um, I've been self-isolating since last Tuesday. I was in town in New Orleans visiting my family for about a month and a half, and I just got back in town last Tuesday. And I was traveling from Louisiana, and that's one of the hot spots currently. And my home state happens to be the first in the nation per capita in COVID-19 cases, and that was confirmed by John Bell Edwards. So on Tuesday, this past Tuesday, I went to the CVS near me and did the self-administered COVID test. It was pretty simple, pretty easy. I was kind of nervous before because I didn't know what to expect, and I've heard just multiple people saying, yes, it hurts. No, it doesn't hurt. So I've just been hearing like all of this mixed reactions. And from my perspective, I thought it was pretty fine. I only experienced a little discomfort. And my natural reaction, I guess, were like tears. I guess there was a pressure point or something that triggered it. But as far as pain, I didn't experience any pain, just a little discomfort. Let's see. And I also have allergies. I suffer from allergies all year round, especially during the summertime. So I do not have any COVID related symptoms. And again, it was just allergies. I had some congestion, I was sneezing. So those were the main two allergy symptoms that I was experiencing. Obviously, runny nose and all of that. I wanted to prioritize my well being because I live with other people. And so I wanted to prioritize their health and safety too. So I'm down here in the basement by myself, and I have been since last Tuesday. But they've been taking care of me, checking in with me over phone, FaceTime, text, and they leave meals for me every now and then at the bottom of the stairs, and they bring down my mail, so I'm, being taken care of. Hi from New York. So with that being said, I'm going to remain here until I receive my test results. And CVS said it could be from 6 to 10 days, just depending on the labs and everything. Um, and that's just one of the realities going on right now. With the labs being super overcrowded, it leads to delays like this. So I just have to be patient in the meantime. Yes, I am alone and have been since last Tuesday, but it's been fine. I've had stuff to watch, I've had stuff to do for work and school coming up, so it has been productive, even though I am self isolating. Hi, Marion, how are you? Okay, so now that's done, I want to switch gears to the main event. So, yesterday, as you guys may have seen on my Twitter page, I shared a link to a story from Savannah, Georgia. And I originally came across this story like 3 days ago from my friend who actually works as a producer at WTOC. And she shared the story about her colleague, Dawn Baker, on her Facebook page. And I thought it would be really interesting to talk about. And I thought it was unique that a longtime anchor, someone whose face that you see every day, if you're in the area, decided to participate in this phase 3 trial and document her experience. It's not every day that a journalist becomes part of the story or the story itself. So I was really intrigued by that. From Chicago. Okay, so first, I wanted to just highlight some background info on the phase 3 vaccine trials, basically what it is, what's the goal, and then pinpoint a couple of things from the WTOC story. So right now, I'm referring to this news release from the National Institutes of Health announcing basically they're launching the phase 3 trials. And it started this past Monday, the 27th. Hi, Pablo. Yes. Yes. Alrighty. How's that? More headspace? Okay, so, all right, perfect. So the name of this particular vaccine trial is called mRNA, capital RNA, 1273. So that's the official name of this vaccine. And it was co-developed by Moderna, the biotech company, along with the National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Diseases. And that's part of NIH, under NIH. So Moderna has, for this vaccine trial, established 89 clinical research sites across 30 states nationwide to participate in this vaccine trial. And now I want to try to run through how you find that list of vaccine sites in case you might be wondering or just intrigued by where these 89 sites are. So I'm going to go to the computer, and we're going to start with going to Moderna's homepage. Okay, so I'm on Moderna's homepage. So on their homepage, you go to pipeline, and then you click on clinical trials. So now it comes up, scroll down a little bit, actively recruiting mRNA clinical trials. So then you go to the site, clinicaltrials.gov. It appears in that second graph. Yes, it is a USA company. And I think they're based in Texas, but I have to verify that. So you click on clinicaltrials.gov. I'm on the main website. So it brings you to a whole nother website. And then find a study. So this is the part where you fill out basically all the fields. So I'm going to click on recruiting and not yet recruiting studies. And then for condition or disease, I'm going to put COVID-19. And it comes up. And then for other terms, it's best to be specific as possible for this part. So I'm just going to put the official name of the vaccine trial that they're doing. So let's see. mRNA, and then 1273. I'm going to answer that later, Pablo. Would you actually get the vaccine trial for yourself? Yeah, that's going to be an interesting conversation. So, United States, and then I'm in Maryland right now, so I'll put that. And then for fun, I'm going to put Baltimore because that's one of the major cities in the state. And then distance really doesn't matter. So then this form comes out. Just a moment. Okay, so now this looks a little crazy. It brings you to all of this. You see all these little tabs. So I'm going to study title. This is what we want. And you know how? Because this is the official name of the vaccine trial. So we're going to click on this, and then it brings you to this other website. So basic facts. Recruiting. First posted July 14th, last update posted. And this is it. We have, here we go. So basic facts. 30,000 participants. So that's how many participants they're seeking for this particular vaccine trial. And then one other feature that I like about this thing goes on and on and on, but they've made it really simple to navigate because they've included this go-to little drop-down button, so you can break it off into sections. So, for example, if we wanted to find a list of those 89 clinical research sites, so I'm going to go to contacts and locations. So now I'm in contacts, locations, show 89 study locations. And there you go, all across the United States. And it goes in alphabetical order. And I really like this feature because it says not yet recruiting, not yet recruiting. Oh, here we go. This place is recruiting. And this is in California. So I'm not sure when these other places that are not yet recruiting are going to start recruiting. That would be something interesting I'd like to find out about. And let's see if there's, I'm going to scroll down to Maryland. Oh, DC, not yet recruiting. Florida. So these are all 89. And I will send this link. I will post it to probably a Twitter post, and I'll also post it to my HAPS profile. So if you're curious, you can look at this too. Okay, so let's see. Mississippi. Let's see, I might have passed up Maryland. Okay, so Rockville. Rockville is recruiting. That's not that far away from me. Maybe about 30 minutes or so, 40 minutes. Rockville. So yeah, and I thought that was really cool. So again, I will send that link, post it on my Twitter page so that you can access it and do your own investigation. Um, Going back to my little thing of notes. Okay, so like I said, this specific Moderna vaccine trial wants to enroll 30,000 people. And they want to enroll adult volunteers. So anyone who's 18 or older, they're accepting all genders. And they're particularly looking for people who have a high risk of exposure. So people who are grocery store clerks, people who work in airports, healthcare workers, people who are in office, went back to work and now are in office buildings, people where they're in environments where there's potential increase of community spread or more community spread going on. Um, Half will get the vaccine, so some will get the shot, and then the other half of participants will get a placebo, and that's another type of injection that has saline. So I thought that was interesting. And I'm not sure how many people have signed up so far for this phase of the vaccine trials, but I know the first one is actually WTOC longtime anchor Dawn Baker. So she was the first patient to participate in this phase 3 vaccine trial. And so now I'm going to highlight some of those key things from that story that I linked to my Twitter yesterday. So in the beginning of the video, Baker explains why she wanted to take part. She's sick of wearing a mask. She's sick of, just taking all of these short-term precautions. She wanted to participate in something that could be long-term, a vaccine. And she says, a vaccine is primarily our ticket to normalcy again. And she says, who knows, this could be it. So she wanted to be part of that possible ultimate solution. So before she committed to volunteering, before she committed to, signing up for the whole process, obviously there was a lot of research involved. She had to talk to her doctor about the possible symptoms that she could develop. And the first 2 phases of the trial, of the vaccine trials, people did experience fever, light flu, some nausea, some of those flu-like symptoms. And Dawn was like, if this is all I have to go through, I'm going to go through it. I can deal with that if this means that, I get to save a life, my life especially. And there was obviously a lot of paperwork that she had to fill out, with a lot of agreement forms and consent forms, basically things you would expect to happen, especially if, you were to go through this vaccine trial. So she's received the shot, and she actually shows like her getting the shot on that story that I linked to, and she's back at work. And in terms of how she's feeling right now, she says she feels better than when she takes the annual flu shot. There's certain things that she has to do from here on out. So now that she's received the shot, she has on her phone, there's an app that she had to download. So for the next 7 days, on, she has to monitor her symptoms every day, just like keeping track of how she's feeling, if her arm is hurting or if she's experiencing any COVID-like symptoms, she has to record that in the app. And then on top of that, she has several doctor visits that she has to follow up on. And these are both in person and online. And ultimately, she said this is a 2-year commitment. So 2 years, she's going to have to be going to these doctor visits over and over again just to, just make sure that she's following protocol. But I saw a story from CBS News, they said that they could see results by the end of this year. So either by November or December, they could see what the results of these trials are. And I think that would be amazing to see how effective it is, if it is going to be effective by that time. That's pretty quick, especially with this 2-year commitment. Hopefully that can be lowered by the results that possibly are going to come out later this year. So my first follow-up question for those who are watching this, and Pablo, I'm getting back to your question. Sorry, it fell off my little stand. Okay, and please feel free to comment. So, if this particular vaccine were to become a success, prove to be effective, would you get the vaccine? Would people get it? And while you're thinking about that question, I'm going to bring this poll up that CBS News put out yesterday. And it showed that 30% of adults would get a COVID 19 vaccine as soon as possible. 50% would consider it, wait to see what happens, and then 20% say they would never get one. So where do you stand? Where do you fall in those categories? And if people want to comment, please feel free. As far as me, that's honestly hard. Um, I think because I did get the COVID-19 test, I would be more open to getting the vaccine, especially if this vaccine results comes out, with positive feedback and proves to be highly effective by the end of this year. I feel like I'd be more open to receiving the vaccine, especially after following Dawn Baker's story. All right, let's see. So Ariana says, I'd probably wait a bit and then get it. Paisley says, I definitely would. Mark Goldman said, I would definitely get the vaccine. Are there specific reasons why people wouldn't get it? And that's what I'm not sure. Um, I guess I don't know if it's like the same conversation with the flu shot. Some people believe that, oh, I don't need it. Some people says, yes, it's needed. It's proven to be effective. So that's a really good question. I don't know why people wouldn't get it. I think as long as it's available, I think that's what matters. And sometimes just a personal decision, people who, um, I guess it's the same thing with like parents who, yes, they want their children to get shots for school. And then there's other parents that don't want their children to get shots. And then, yeah, I guess I would go with either that 50%, but probably maybe in that 30% range. So my next question is, would you be willing to participate in the vaccine trials? And are there people watching right now who are interested in participating in the vaccine trials? Let's see, Emily says, is there a certain amount of population that would need to get it to significantly impact the spread? So I think that's why Moderna wants 30,000 people, because I think that's a pretty representative number to test how effective it is. I really hope they get that number of people to participate and volunteer, and I'm eager to see like how they're advertising this to recruit people. Like, how are people finding out about the vaccine trials in their community? Pablo said, I'd have debated it, but I'm not high risk. Right. And obviously I'm not high risk right now because I'm self-isolating. And I am currently in graduate school, and most of my classes for the fall semester are online. So as far as community spread, that won't really be a factor with me, for me, because I'm not going to be in class. Paisley says, you have to have the virus to participate in the trials. So I was looking this up, and I've kind of found mixed reviews. This one source says, yes, you have to have or had COVID-19 in order to participate. But I think what they're really seeking are people who are really prone to getting the virus. So those healthcare workers, those grocery store clerks, the people who work in airports where community spread is very likely, especially flight attendants, coming into close contacts with people who are boarding the plane, exiting the plane. So, like I said, it'd be really interesting to see how Moderna and the local health facilities are recruiting or just advertising this to people, because it's really no incentive, but I guess the long-term incentive is to see if this proves to be effective. And as far as would I be willing to participate in vaccine trials, like I said, I appreciate Dawn Baker being the first patient. That's pretty historic. And she's doing it because she wants to find something long term. We can only wear a mask, we can only do these certain measures for so long until we're getting sick and tired of just going through this, what seems to be forever. It's only been 5 months, but it seems like forever. And so I would not, because I'm not high risk. So if I was high risk working in a high risk environment, I'd be really considering it. So Paisley says yes, because I was wondering, how is it a 2-year process for one person that is participating when the virus lasts only about 2 weeks typically? I guess because this is I guess this is just part of the trial. And like they said, this could not end up being 2 years, depending on how soon they start seeing results, which could be by the end of this year. But as far as like the vaccine, because you are in these trials, because Dawn Baker is, there are certain expectations that she has to fulfill. So that requires going to continuous doctor visits and monitoring her symptoms for 7 days. So Ariana says, I feel like one reason people would be skeptical is that if they're sensitive to injecting foreign bodies inside of them, like they're allergic to a lot of things. And that's the other scary thing, right? Is I don't know the ingredients in this particular investigational vaccine. As far as I know, I'm not allergic to anything. Whenever I get shots, whenever doctors ask, are you allergic to any medications? I say no. But what if this is the one thing I sign up for, and this is the one thing or one ingredient in the vaccine and I'm allergic to and have a super bad reaction? I guess that's another thing that you would have to consider if you were to participate, is every possible thing that could happen in terms of health. So I think it's a really big thing, but I think that the people who are going to participate, have participated in these trials are heroes, because ultimately you need human subjects to see if this is going to work or not. So I applaud all those people who are doing the work. And I wish I had that bravery, but I do not right now, especially since I'm still waiting for my COVID-19 test results. And that's pretty much it for me, unless anyone else has any questions about what I just talked about. If there's anything I need to go over or reiterate, please do so at this time. And again, I will post that link that I sent with the list of those 89 sites across the country, 30 states, on my Twitter and on my HAPS app. And please, if you are interested in seeing more live streams from me, please follow me on HAPS at Sydney Clark. You can download the HAPS app, or you can follow me on Twitter, and my HAPS information will be on there. Thanks, Emily. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'm glad you enjoyed it. And yeah, so I will be following Dawn Baker's journey to see if she posts any updates, after the 7 days period where she has to monitor her symptoms. I hope she does something where she can basically summarize what those symptoms have been, how she's been feeling. Like I said, she's back at work, she's back on screen, back in the anchor desk. So I'm interested to see how she and other people are responding to this trial. Thanks, Mark. Alrighty, and then one last thing I want to leave you. Please wear a mask, and rest in power and peace, John Lewis. We will continue to share and spread your light and love with everyone and wherever we are. With that, everyone, thank you so much for tuning in. And like I said, if you want to see more from me, please follow me on HAPS. All right, everyone, take care.